Hi students, we are going to review your Google Slides on electricity and circuits vocabulary. So what I need you to do is go to your Google Drive, find your Google Slides, and we are going to review these together. So pause this video and go to your your Google Drive and find, it's called 4 Google Slides on Keywords on Electricity and Circuits. All right, so the first thing is we're going to go through each slide. We're starting with slide number 4. You had your word bank here. We're asking you to cut and paste them into your slide. So the first one, electrons. You should have had that it's the lightest stable subatomic particle known, and it carries a negative charge. You should also be aware that your examples and pictures may be different than my sample here, but it should be similar as far as, you know, it should be relevant to the definition. So check your definitions, make sure they're the same, and then the examples should be similar. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Voltage is the SI unit for electric potential difference. Electric current is a continuous flow of electric charges, which are electrons, through a wire or solution. Conductor are materials that allow electrons to flow freely from particle to particle. And good examples would be any types of metals. Insulators are the opposite of conductors. They do not allow electrons to flow freely from particle to particle. You could consider things like rubber, plastic, wood, clothing are good examples. Resistor is a passive electrical component that creates resistance in the flow of electric current. And electric current is measured in ohms. That is the SI unit. Now, a resistor could be any device that uses electricity. As you saw in the PhET simulation that you guys performed, a light bulb could be a resistor. A TV could be a resistor. Your computer acts as a resistor. A series circuit is a type of circuit that only has one path for electricity to flow. So an example would be like an old string of Christmas lights, because if one of the bulbs on the string is burnt out, then you know the rest of the bulbs don't work. There's only one path that the electricity can take back to the battery. Now, a parallel circuit is a type of circuit that has multiple paths for the electricity to flow. So the wiring in your home is a really good example of a parallel circuit. All right, your next set of word bank that you got is going to go for slides 13 to 22. So for a semiconductor, you should have said a material that has unique electric conductive behavior, because it can sometimes act as a conductor and sometimes act as an insulator. Silicon, which is in Silicon Valley in the western part of the United States, they actually mine silicone and they put it in computer chips. And that's a really good example, because sometimes computers, the chips will send electrical impulses to different circuits, and sometimes it will not. A transistor is a type of a semiconductor that's used to amplify or switch electronic signals and electrical power. Amps is the SI unit for electric current. So that's the flow of electricity in a circuit. A wet cell is a type of battery that contains a liquid electrolyte, such as sulfuric acid, a dangerous corrosive liquid, and car batteries are a good example. A dry cell is a battery that contains electrolytes as a paste, and they are relatively inexpensive but do not last as long and are not rechargeable. So most typical batteries that you use, like in a TV remote or so forth, are dry cell type batteries. An open circuit is an electrical circuit that is not complete. Okay, So if you don't have any electricity going through the wires, it is said to be open. And if you have like an open switch, that could create an open circuit because electricity cannot pass through. So if you look at your lights, those switches on your door into your bedroom, that could act as an open circuit if your lights are off in your bedroom. Now, the closed circuit is an electric circuit that is complete. It allows electricity to flow. So you do get electricity flowing from each of the branches or wires in a circuit. Direct current, or DC, is electric current that flows in just one direction. You can, an example of that would be any battery source would provide direct current. As with your PhET simulation that you guys were playing with, you notice that the current only goes in one direction, and that's when you use a battery. Alternative current is current that keeps reversing direction. So whenever you plug something into your outlet in your home, or any outlet for that case, you're going to be accessing, or you're going to be using alternate current. Ohm's law is a law in electricity which says the strength of a direct current is directly proportional to the potential difference and inversely proportional to the resistance of the circuit. So I is equal to V over R, where I represents current, V represents voltage, and R represents resistance. So your picture, you could have shown the triangle that shows the relationship between those three variables. Okay, so your test in here is scheduled for Friday, February 19th and Monday, February 22nd. So you would want to look over these definitions. You will also be provided a study guide to prepare for the test on those days. All right, good job, guys. See you soon.